when you do all this and you're showing me, I didn't know how to do this.
Oh, absolutely. We'll add value to your operation, no problem. So welcome to day 2. Who enjoyed day 1?
Well,
All right. Who got some transformation or breakthroughs on day 1?
Absolutely.
Awesome. And I'm going to tell you this. This is the format we run. And the reason is we want to keep it simple because everybody know how to use Skool, right? So when we keep it to the Skool format, then everybody's okay. But we still have our community website, which is a backup. Does that make sense, guys?
mhm.
So when you guys get the email, you're always going to have access to both Skool and access to the email. So no excuse, right? Remember what we
Mhm.
said to take all the excuses away? You heard it in the video, put up or shut up, right? There's really nothing else you can do, right? Let's do a quick recap of what we done yesterday. I was able to sum it up on one single page, and I'm going to share the computer sound so you can have that. The first thing we talked about was the front door of your system. You know the purpose of the squeeze page. You know the purpose of the video sales letter, which is your thank you page. And you know the purpose of your ready page, right? But the main thing, remember, the number one reason why it doesn't work for you, anybody want to, you don't have to be quiet because Tim's here.
Consistency.
What's that?
Consistency.
The reason most of you don't make a sale is you're not in love with your system. You're not obsessed. When you're in love and obsessed, you know the
Mhm.
ins and outs of why it works and why it doesn't work. You know, it took me about 30 days to figure that out. Amy called me out. Amy is lovely. She said, Kim, is this just a business transaction? Or do you actually want to know the ins and outs so you can fall in love with the system? And that's when it clicked for me. This is when it starts going to the what and why versus the how, right? And this is when your content change. Because instead of coming from your head, it comes from your heart. Does that make sense? You see, this is important as a recap for the first day. Then you want to make sure you understand your 4 disconnects. Anybody remember what's the first disconnect?
Consistency.
Consistency, right? And what? Does that mean if you apply certain consistencies, it won't work? Or if you have to apply all, it will work faster. If you throw a boat with 3 engines in the water, it's going to go a lot faster than 1 engine. Okay? Now, the only time you don't want 3 engine is if you're going to get seasick, but it's okay. If you got the precautions, I'm going to tell you, it's a lot more fun when you got 3 engines running than when you got 1. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay? This is the same way. We went 6 figures without doing lives. So my boat has minus 1 engine already. I was using the webinar strategy, right? And I was using the marketing 101, which is the freedom machine. My board came. Tim is my witness, asking for the information.
For the board.
In our house, there's not a day goes by that we don't have a box in front of the house. Okay?
Fences on.
Yeah.
We have triple threat problem. So we have a Amazon problem, we have a TikTok problem, and we have a Temu problem.
Christmas every day.
And the daughter also ordered from Shin. You know Shin?
Yeah.
So there's something in front door every day. Okay. They make money from this house. So
Oh my Lord.
I'm telling you, I know it's sad. Consistency, guys, is the key. You know, what admires me the most is Tim's story. You know, I've had conversations with Tim, and the one thing that he teach me is, are you fully engaged or are you just partially engaged? Right? It took him 90 days to prime the right. We talked about, have you ever pumped water out on the first pump? He primed the pump for 90 days before his first sale.
Yep.
You see, to me, a sale from a warm market is a sale, but it's not really the sale I'm looking for. I'm looking for that sale this system teaches. You're supposed to get people that don't know you to buy from you. That takes a different skill set. How do people go really fast, 6 figures? Is because they have a following. I don't care who says what. 50% or higher of your first sales come from your warm market. You still got to prime the pump to make your cold sales. Regardless of who you are, we all start the same. Nobody has a shortcut to success. We use the same freedom machine, the same email system. We may not look the same.
We can't have a lot of people have this hair. That's what you're just saying.
Like anybody else.
Oh, no.
Opening a can of worms.
We just lost connection again. For him, we lost connection.
The number one fail on consistency is how you show up. I did 2 videos for the longest and started seeing, you know what, I'm not getting the results that I want. And then when I changed from 3 to 5 videos a day, it started to go better. But then when I did 3 to 5 videos and stories, I doubled my exposure. That's when things started to come regularly. But it's not just the video, guys. You got to make sure your components are there. Hook, intro, pain point, solution, and CTA. You know, what kills me the most is when people create good content and the person's ready to buy, but there's no CTA. Where do I click?
Did you look at my video this morning with my no CTA? Thank you. I appreciate it. The one time I didn't put a CTA on my video. All right. I got to go back and
Nobody loses. You just get less leads. It's all part of the clarity, right? If you go on my wall, whether it is a B-roll, a 7, 30 seconds, or 60 seconds, that I don't have those 5 items, I will find a way to make it look presentable and squeeze it in there to make sure that there is no questions. 0 questions. Now, do you have to do that too? No. Should you? That's up to you. You're your own CEO. Does that make sense? So the second disconnect, anybody remember the clarity? One of the biggest mistakes people make is their message is all over the place. Can you be consistent for 7 videos, 6 series? Can somebody know your story in 6 videos? If they look at your thumbnails for 6 videos and can't tell your story from your thumbnails, you're already in trouble. Because if they can't tell your story from thumbnails, they never click and stop to scroll. They never watch a video. That's supposed to stop the scroll. If your clarity sucks, your consistency sucks, that's when you need to apply for a job.
Thanks, Kim. I just retired.
You got to pay the bill somehow. Get your ducks in a row. Does that make sense? Have you really started? It's called a 30-day challenge. But how do you get ready? If you can't pass a 7-day challenge, how are you going to pass a 30-day challenge? You got to take baby steps, right? The purpose of the 7-day challenge is to prepare your mindset, right? Now, how many 7-day challenge do you do before you finish a 30-day challenge? Now, remember, this is coming from the only Asian guy that failed math.
4.
That's right. If I want to do the 30-day challenge, it's focusing 7 days at a time and do it 4 times. If I want to do the 90-day challenge, I do it 12 times. Does that make sense? It's simple math. If the guy who failed math can figure this out, you should too. I'm just saying, okay, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but the reality is this. It is really that simple. Okay? Now, here's what happens. Your third disconnect is authority. How many of you have kids? How many of you believe we're too nice to our kids?
No.
They call me sheriff around my house.
To the grandbabies, maybe. The kids.
I was more the enforcer.
The one thing you guys know about me is I'm a straight shooter, but I'm also a very firm believer in tough love. When are they going to realize you're helping them? When they get out in the real world. How well they survive depends on how well we prepare them. Sometimes it's harder on the ladies than the men. Sometimes it's a little bit softer, but I've seen some men who are soft too. Does that make sense?
They're from
Well, I'm from Colorado. I just like Dallas.
How do you acquire authority, guys? It's all about taking actions to build your confidence. Don't wait until it's perfect. The biggest mistake you can make is wait until it's perfect. If you wouldn't wait until it's perfect for you to jump out of a plane on a parachute, why would you wait the perfect moment for your business? I guarantee you that plane's on fire and you got a parachute on your back, you ain't gonna wait for perfect to jump. You're gonna jump. And guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna figure things on the way down. It's either pretty or an ugly landing, but it's gonna be a landing. And guess what? It's the same way here in digital marketing. It's the same way. It's no different. If you go look at my wall, I was looking at my first video and I was laughing my butt off. It was so funny. I finished the bottle of wine. It was that my first video was ridiculous. But that first video got 2,000 views. And I didn't even speak. It was just a B-roll. And I didn't even know what the B-roll was then. You know, when somebody told me B-roll the first time, I thought it was a roll of $100 bills. I want this kind of business.
Give me that cash.
So the last two are the biggest ones as far as mistakes. So authority and follow through. A lot of people, they're hoping that person to buy on the first thing, but they don't realize that people don't buy until the 7th, 8th, all the way to the 12th email is usually when people buy. And yet people is looking for that result on the first email. No. You know who complains most? The ones that don't check their data. They're the ones that complain the most. They're like, oh, the system don't work. I don't make a sale. When is the last time you check your data? Do you even know what your open rate, your click-through rate? And they're like, what's that? Come on. You know, it's like you driving your car, you run out of gas and oil, and you're like, what happened? Well, duh. You didn't put oil and gas in it. So, this recap is important. That's why I put it all on one sheet. And all you have to do is click and download. And I know Tim can do that. So, icing on the cake. What are we looking from you at PPP? Is one, I don't care how much money you invested. We want to see your return on your investment. If it means to have it on a recurring basis, then so be it. Our goal is for you to earn at least equivalent to one sale a month on the reoccurring basis. That means you need to earn at least $900 to $1,400 reoccurring until you prepare yourself to have your first actual MRR sale. Does that make sense?
yes.
Right? But you know what? When you got $1,400 coming in every month, then all of a sudden you make a $1,400 sale, you could take your family to dinner. Because you got $1,400 that goes back towards your bills, and you got $1,400 to treat the family. A much better way to do business. With this community having 64 income streams at the premium level, you have no excuses to why you don't make money. That means either you need to get familiar with those incomes, you're just not using the strategies and the products that's inside of the community. Some of you are earning 100, 200, 300, even as high as 500 without trying, by just using and promoting your products. Especially those with HBA on premium. Just from premium on HBA for me, it's $2,500 a month. How many could use $2,500 a month? And you know why that one doesn't cancel? Their Freedom Machine is run by that product. All their funnels is run by that product. Their data is run on that product, so they're checking their data to see what works. If they cancel that product, that means they're not using any of it. We don't use System IO, Tim. We use a different system, and that
Correct.
system runs every funnel we have, including the one we invite to the community. And you see, when you're using your product, how do you know when you're in love with your product? You become an ultimate show off. Look, there's not a place I go, I ain't showing off. I've got the community website run off that platform. We've got sexy looking funnels, right? Literally stop the scroll. It helps. You know, if you've got 5 funnels and 4 look dead and looks live, which one do you think they're gonna go to?
The one that looks live.
It's gotta jump out at you. Today is a different way of doing business. Will it work the old way? Yes. Will it work faster the new way? Yes. Does that make sense? Next thing is earn enough to pay a bill. Car note, phone note, bill, something. But is that person gonna be married for life with you in business? Is when you show that person how to earn enough to pay a rent and a mortgage. Broke even, they have no expense. They can pay a regular bill and now can pay rent and mortgage. Where they gonna go? They're going no damn where. You try to shake him off, won't go.